Good evening, neighbors, friends, and distinguished guests. My name is Alonzo Harrison, the president of the Council Civic Association. It's my pleasure to welcome you all here this evening. Really appreciate you guys coming up. First, I want to extend a special heartfelt welcome to our esteemed, when she's come here, County Exec Aisha Braithwaite, and her team. You guys are the team. Your presence here tonight is a powerful testament to our commitment to our community, and your desire to hear directly from the community and the people you serve is great. Is great. We are grateful for the leadership that we're looking forward to our decision tonight. I want to recognize and thank the community leaders, the community partners in the back who joined us tonight. For your collaboration and support are essential to the work that we do. From our local businesses to our dedicated nonprofit organization, your contributions strengthen the fabric of Camp Spring. I want to thank you all for coming out. To our newest residents and members here, the newest residents and members recently moved to the community. We want to give you a warm Camp Springs welcome. We are glad you are here tonight with us, and we invite you to get involved and share your voice and consider becoming a member of the Camp Springs Civic Association. Our strength comes from our neighbors. And we want you to join the Camp Springs Civic Association. Finally, I want to express a sincere gratitude to Bales United Methodist Church in this building tonight for graciously hosting us this evening. Their continued generosity in providing a space for our community gathered in this space is deeply appreciated. And we want to thank Ms. Davis, if she's around, for letting us have this space tonight. We have a gift for her. I will give it to her later. I thought she'd be here. But we want to thank her. And community, if you can, we have a donation basket up front here. If you have anything to give, can you just help donate to the church? We really appreciate it. Now tonight we will discuss community concerns that's on our agenda, and your participation and perspectives are invaluable, and we encourage everyone to engage in a productive dialogue. And we want to thank everybody for coming tonight. So let's have a good evening. So we're going to get started on our meeting. It's now 7:13. And we're going to start with our public safety. And we're going to get our report, our cops officer report. We're going to get to our Division 4 is Corporal Miller, and Division 5 Corporal Diggs. If you guys can come up and give us the report for our community. Really appreciate it.
Good evening, can I? Good evening, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I don't think I ever need a mic. I'm Corporal Miller out of the Austin Hill Station. I cover the Austin Hill Station side of anything Allentown Road on that side. He covers the Clinton side. I got good news. I don't have nothing to report. You want me to tell you something? We have been out aggressively, both districts. We just had a couple big drug arrests up here on Maxwell and Morris, and a couple on Brinkley Road. So both stations have been working together to clean this area up.
All right.
Thank you. How do you follow up with that? All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Corporal Diggs. I work for District 5, like you said, the Clinton side. And I am here filling in for Corporal Thomas. I tell him that y'all didn't miss him and y'all appreciated me being here. So you guys have, on our side, we have a few things on October 31st, on the 7100 block of Allentown Road, we did have a citizen robbery suspect. Did not display, but made it seem like he had a gun and stole a coat from the victim and fled on foot. On the 30th of October, on the 82nd 100 block of Birdsong, we had a residential burglary. The suspect had made unlawful entry into the victim's home. The victim did advise officers that they unfortunately left their doors unlocked. I'm pretty sure Corporal Miller and Corporal Thomas have been telling y'all with y'all cars to lock y'all cars. I didn't know that we had to tell y'all to lock y'all front doors too. But this is not the first time it happened in my beat in the Marlboro area. We had a situation where young kid's door was open. He just went in, scared the heck out of the lady. So please lock your door. On October the 11th, at the 5700 block of Spring Street, we had a theft from auto. A unknown suspect stole the tags from the victim's vehicle. We've been seeing a lot of that too. Usually they'll just steal the back tag, that's the one with the sticker on it. Or sometimes they'll just steal the sticker. We also had another theft from auto on the 23rd of October, 6300 block of Old Branch Avenue. Suspect made entry into the victim's vehicle and stole miscellaneous items. They didn't say what the items were of value. And we had 3 stolen vehicles. We had on October 20th, 7400 block of Rose Court, a unknown suspect made unlawful entry to the victim's vehicle and stole a Ford Transit. On November the 3rd, 5600 block of Lansing Drive, similar unknown suspect made entry and stole a Mitsubishi Outlander. And on the 10th of this month, 7100 block of Temple Hill Road, unknown suspect stole a Jeep Compass. So we have had a few property crimes in our district, and like Corporal Miller said, we have been out. Corporal Thomas wanted me to tell you guys that not just him, but our unit has been trying to be proactive in your communities, in your areas, Stonesboro, Easy Street. You guys may have seen us all up and down Allentown Road. I don't know about on their side, but so that you guys know that we're around, we do put our takedown lights on, so you guys can see us, and hopefully it'll be a deterrent. However, crime opportunities, some of these guys have still been making their way, unlocked doors, and just been stealing stuff. So please, like you said, I'm pretty sure because I haven't been here in a while, lock your stuff and put things of value up. It's all about opportunity. If they see something that they want, they like it, and you got it, and it's easy for them to get it, they're going to take it. Don't make it easy for them. They don't make it easy. I think we got some steering wheel locks and stuff like that. Hopefully they help you guys out so that it'll make it a lot more difficult. But if they determine, But also, one more thing that he wanted me to tell you, he wanted me to invite you guys to also, if you want to see his face, we're having a McOfficer night at the McDonald's on Old Alexander Ferry Road on November 24th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be there to discuss debt prevention and give holiday tips. And we're going to be serving you guys like literally. They're probably going to have me flipping burgers because I don't eat burgers. And I'll have to hear that, so your food will be safe. Trust me, I promise. Outside of that, you guys have any questions for Miller? I knew y'all wasn't going to have no questions for him. I got questions for me. Yes, ma'am. You look out to see. Yes, ma'am.
When there are accidents on Allentown Road, and there's debris left, like car fenders and parts of cars and that type of thing, who's responsibility for those things to be removed?
I can answer that. I have somebody standing next to me who is the guru when it comes to that.
So if the county officer responds to that accident and we impound the car, the tow truck company, who comes out to impound the vehicle, they normally clean up. Now, if it's just a accident and people exchange information or did it on their own, I mean, if you tell me where it's at, I'll go out there and pick it up. I'll have somebody go pick it up.
But it's their
Yeah,
responsibility.
but not all the time, just because you see an accident, that we respond out, some people handle it on their own, and by the time we get there, they gone, so, but if you tell me on the side what address you're talking about, I'll go have it cleaned up.
So the tow trucks come out, is the tow truck's responsibility?
Yes, ma'am.
If the county police are impounding the vehicle, the tow truck driver goes out and he picks up the stuff.
Part of the contract.
So the tow truck driver sweeps it to the side of the road, they just.
They supposed to put it on the,
They put it on everyone I be on, they put it on the tow truck. You
Yeah.
know why? Because anybody in this room that got on a police uniform, and know I be the main one out there sweeping,
Yeah.
like you go ahead and get the car, I'm gonna clean the road, and I sweep it up. So,
Okay.
and I even got a blower in the back of my car.
I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one right here. What about the crime tape, the caution tape? I myself have gone and where it's thrown up beside the road or left around the utility pole. Sometimes it's left on gates, that type of thing. Whose responsibility is that to pick it up or to remove it?
Officers. The officers.
The officer?
Yes, ma'am. But sometimes it'll be up for a couple of days, so somebody has to go back to the scene and then remove it. And by that time, whoever officer was there probably also, he ain't gonna go back. But it's up to us. So if you notice it, you don't have to do a call. You call out an emergency, like, hey, the officer left this up. We'll come and get it. And if it's on Allentown Road, I know somebody who'll come and get it. Corporal Thomas or Corporal Miller.
Thank you.
Anything else? I feel like somebody. Okay, it was the gentleman in the back too.
I just wanted to reiterate the distinction between what area you cover and the area you cover, because I think some of the people will come out and think here.
Okay, so if you're traveling on Allentown Road, all right, on the Wawa side of Branch Avenue, Wawa side, all the way down to the Allentown Road, so it goes to, what's that, like Kayak Elementary and stuff like that, that's our side, the 35 side. And on the side with the Exxon and, I'm sorry, Royal Farms, that's our side, Royal Farms, Wawa side is District 4 side. Yeah.
So Allentown Road is dividing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
You said Clinton?
Yes. Clinton. Royal Farms.
From Allentown going toward Clinton is your.
Yes. Yes. Royal Farms, Clinton,
Allentown.
Wawa. I said we just cousins. That's all.
Just wanted to make sure.
Same level. We just cousins. I'm the same mother side. Yes, sir.
Good evening. The question I have is about residential street parking. In my neighborhood, it's so frustrating, especially after 5 p.m. It will be a tight street, residential, both sides, and cars will be parked on both sides. And you have to squeeze in between these cars to get to your house. I don't know what the law is as far as how many cars one house is supposed to have. Because some of these houses have over 6, 7 cars. Some of them were parked in the street for over 5 years. That's why I'm here.
Can we get a lifeline? Is it possible for us to have a lifeline so we can phone a friend?
It's a revenue authority.
Oh, come on up. Let us see your face.
Good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Shanika Schaefer. I oversee the Enforcement Services Department of the Revenue Authority of Prince George's County. We are basically the parking division throughout throughout the county. What you're referring to and what your community is possibly going to need is our residential parking permit program. That is a community initiative-driven program that the residents set up. You let us know what your needs are, and we will create that zone for you. What that does is that blocks your zone off between the times that you feel as though there is an overcrowding of parking of residents, of vehicles that do not belong to residents in the neighborhood. What happens with that is that signage goes up based on your conversation with our administrative staff and how they build that zone out. Petition has to be signed. You have to get 51% approval based on the block on the way you want to have the zone set up. Once that's done, you're going to have a public hearing so people can either give their yeas or nays about it. Our board will actually do the vote on it, and then the signage, if it's approved, the signage will be put up. What happens with that is, like I stated, we'll get ready to state, is that the signage is going to go up and it's going to let non-residents know that if you're not a part of this program between 5 p.m. and 6 a.m., you will be subject to ticketing. The vehicles that we have license plate readers on them, so the zones are digital. There's nothing you have to do but register your information online. You don't have to put a hang tag up, you don't have to worry about a sticker, everything is done online. Our vehicles are equipped with this information. They will go out and conduct enforcement during the times that your zone is blocked off. If they find anyone that is in your zone that is not registered to be there, they will receive a $100 fine. There's no conversations about it. If you're not supposed to be here, you will receive a ticket. These zones, we have almost 140 of them throughout Prince George's County. They are extremely successful. We have officers that are specifically posted for this position. That's all they do is go around to our residential parking permits. They are dedicated to nothing but this. So if you need information on that, I have my card up here. You can come grab that from me at the end of this meeting, and I'll make sure, and email me directly, and I'll make sure I'm connected with the correct person to get that set up for you.
Can I just, one question for them. Is it like a limit, like a number of cars per house for the zone?
Yeah, so that is set up to where we have that safeguard there to where I believe, and I don't want to speak out of turn because again, I oversee it, I'll do the administrative part of it, but you're only allowed a certain amount of permits, and then you're only allowed a certain amount of visitor permits. So you can't just have 1,500 cars for this one house. And then even with that, there is a checkpoint system to where the registration, the plates, and the homeowner, all of that has to match. So if you're renting out your home, it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to be a part of the program because we don't have it set up for that.
Thank you.
Might I ask one question before you leave? Are there any regulations for cars that are parked going in the wrong direction on the street?
Yes, we also handle that also. There is a law for that we can actually cite for, but again, give my information, or you can actually put a request in with 311. The best thing about 311 is that we have, again, officers that are dedicated to investigating service requests. They will follow it all the way until the end, and it also tracks the needs of your community and how the Revenue Authority and other agencies are able to provide you with better resources. And for us, targeted enforcement. So you can either get my information or put a service request in 311 and be extremely detailed. That helps us so much if you let us know what time this infraction is occurring, the vehicle information on how we can hold that all the way through to the end. We don't want to come out and don't have the proper information to serve you and be able to close out your complaint and get that resolved for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, I guess my question was almost be similar. Now, I'm one of the residents that
I'm out shopping.
I own 8 vehicles, but my thing is they're on my property. So, but I talked to this gentleman earlier, he was telling me that they gotta be tagged. Two of them is just not tagged. I mean, I own them, I own the property, so why is it so much of a,
That's the
motor vehicles don't have a problem with it, my insurance company don't have a problem with it. Why does the Department of Inspection have a problem?
Well, I don't want to answer for DPI, but there is a certain thing called private property standards. I'm gonna just say that first. I'm gonna pass the mic.
Good evening, Lamont Hinton, Deputy Director with the Office of Permitting, Inspection and Enforcement, commonly known as DPI. So that is a property standard concern. The county code regulates that all vehicles on private property must be registered and tagged at all times. So that's not my code, I don't make that code up, it's county legislation code that we enforce.
And
So,
this was enforced when? Because I've been there for 30 years.
well, obviously, it's been on the books for a long time. And it just gets to a point where residents are a lot more vigilant and the property standard concerns. Obviously, there's a beautification campaign that's going on in the county, and we want all residents to be good neighbors. I tell this still every time I go out, hey, look, I don't need you to cut your grass every week like I do, but I need you to at least cut it once a month, right? And there's limits and there are property standard violations associated with grass cutting, litter, trash and debris, open storage. Did I miss anything? Abandoned cars. We just want people to be good neighbors, be good residents to their neighbors. So it's a little, sometimes, you know, I understand it's your property, but again, there's still property standard codes you have to abide by.
Yeah, and these vehicles, they are not abandoned, the motor ain't hanging out, all of them got, you know, you wouldn't know.
I understand that, sir. I understand that, sir, but the county code says that you have to have registered and tagged vehicles on your property.
All right, and,
Okay? That's the county code. I don't make the code up. I just enforce the laws.
okay, and who would I speak to for us to get an amendment to change something?
I mean, that's a great question. That's a great question. So the county council, you navigate on behalf of the county council.
We're gonna take,
I'm gonna sit back down.
thank you so
No,
much.
sir.
We want to take
Sir.
one more question.
Okay,
One more.
Before you leave, I want to ask you a question about property standards.
Okay.
You have, no, not you, sir, this gentleman is.
Oh, me?
Yes. We have, like, people in our neighborhood, they run and launch services, nothing's wrong with that. But when you park 3, 4, 5 trucks in the neighborhood, how do we get?
Yeah, I would, obviously, that is a concern. We collaborate with multiple agencies with regards to that on a regular basis, with regards to folks just not being there, parking tow trucks, parking straight trucks, dump trucks. I would just advocate that you use 311 to report that, but there's ongoing conversations about folks that are parking those vehicles. I think we deal with a number of those issues weekly, ma'am. We obviously are not getting them all, but I need you to use the 311 so we can do a better job.
311 doesn't work.
Yes, it does
Yes,
work.
yes, it does.
It does
Well,
work.
we
ma'am.
send
And
photographs and stuff and nobody comes out.
I will tell you, ma'am, I'm here tonight to tell you, and I think a meeting on behalf of my agency as the deputy director. Most recently, the county executive launched an initiative called Strike Force. In the county, our agency resolved close to almost 6,000 outstanding service requests. And I'm very dedicated to ensuring that my folks, within my enforcement and my inspections team, whereas I have weekly meetings with them on SLAs, and that's the service level agreement. If someone calls in a 311 request, I want that request responded timely, right? Because my folks are back there shaking their head, but I'm literally relentless on that because the residents of Prince George's County demand that. I've been a resident for like 35 years in this county, right? And I take this job very, very seriously. This is not given to me, right? I can be asked to leave tomorrow, right? So I have to make the best of my position while I'm in this seat, okay? So I just will tell you, it does work. I'm held accountable to it. I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't do my job. So, and the folks along this road are the same. They're dedicated just like I am. We have committed ourselves to ensuring that 311 is used and operates properly. So that's all.
Thank you, Pat. We're gonna move on. You have to make sure that we move on.
I can do this all night, man. I do 2 or 3 of these things a week, so I can, you give me a mic, I'm good.
He'll take it okay.
If you have additional questions for DPI or any of the other agencies that are in the building, you can come to the back and ask your questions. But you know, this is 7 to 9. We have an agenda, we have to keep to it. But we appreciate the question. We understand. We are all committed to our community.
We're gonna move on with our agenda. I hope everybody can hear me. I want to bring up our financial report for Ms. Randolph.
Can you hear me? Yes. Good evening. There are more than 8,300 households in Camp Springs, and as of this morning, 49 households and 7 businesses have become members of the association. There are many more households and businesses that can join us in the good work that this association does in our community by connecting us with community leaders, getting updates from agencies such as DPI, Property Standards, WSSC, and our COPS officers, and many more households that can volunteer for our communities to maintain, to make an impact and have the opportunity to participate in discussing important topics and developments. So you may ask, what expenses your membership fees help us to cover? So to name a few, it's the videotaping of our Zoom meetings, our yearly renewal of our post office box where we receive checks and money orders for membership dues, the yearly insurance policy payment, maintenance of our website and fees to distribute flyers and meeting notifications, and of course miscellaneous payments for community events, in-person meeting locations, meeting signage, postage, etc. So please tell your Camp Springs friends and neighbors about joining the CSCA. Household membership is $20. Business membership is $30. Additional information can be found on our website, which is campspringsca.org. And at the bottom of the page, click on Become a Member. Any questions?
You said you have an expense for insurance. What are you insuring?
We have liability insurance. Liability.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna have our membership. Ms. Marlene Goin McCann, come up here. Talk about our membership, which we need everyone to join.
Thank you, and I know our illustrious past president is going to keep me on my 5-minute time. First of all, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about was some of the issues that came up. Kind of give an overview of maybe 4 or 5 reasons why membership is critical and very important. First of all, historically, human beings have always got together. When you move into the community from time, beginning of time, people have organized. And that was one of the best ways to take care of themselves and take care of, I think in modern times or current times now, it's much more evident. The reality is, we've got a strong civic association, active, members involved, then the leadership pays attention. Right? If I'm a city councilman or a county councilman or whatever elected official, if that civic association continues to send questions or emails or complaints, and there's 300 or 400 people, and they meet monthly, I'm going to pay attention to that. So part of what we really need to do is think about it. And the number of times I've noticed when I first came to Prince George's County, that we weren't as active as I thought. I'm from Louisiana. All the isms are alive and doing well there. So when I came to Prince George's County, people were fluent, things were doing well, we weren't having issues with our leadership. But times have changed. Not only that, at this point, I heard the news today, there's a $1.4 billion budget shortfall state. So we need to collectively talk about what our interests are, what our concerns are, so we can be heard. And let's just face it, our district, Camp Springs Civic Association's membership, the neighborhood, I live in Westchester, is an aging community. I've been there 30 plus years. And all of the young people who moved out, and they're not really necessarily moving into it. We're not getting new buildings and new schools and things. So we need to have a vehicle where our voices are heard. We are an Asian community. People need to know what we want. Some of the things that we talked about today. You won't find some of that happening, moving in some some other areas. They're a different population, right? Let's pay attention to that. The other one is the best way to learn about new information in terms of policies, programs, whatever, as opposed to using they say, being a part of the civic association, information is disseminated appropriately, correct information. So think about that. And the last one, I just really, really encourage. Since I've become active, I've met the wonderful, the nicest people. My neighbors and I really love each other, but making sure that people in our community that are broad part of Camp Springs Civic Association, opportunity to get to know who your neighbors are. And also to be able to talk about the other side of our issues. Like we've had issues tonight that I've dealt with in our neighborhood. So please think about it. If you're a member, wonderful, bring a neighbor, talk to your friends, anybody who lives within this Camp Springs Civic Association catchment area. It is critical for our own survival, really, and safety. Because excuse me, I always say strength in numbers.
Thank you so much. We're going to move down with our schedule. We're going to get the Office of Emergency Management, Rasheed Plummer, to come up and say some words if he's available. He's doing a presentation. Very passionate guy. Y'all going to love him.
Y'all love it. I hope y'all love it. How's everybody doing this evening? Do I need the microphone for y'all here? I don't need no mic. Y'all can hear me pretty well.
Just a reminder, you have surveys in your seats, please fill them out. There's two of them. One from the Camp Springs Civic Association, one from Emergency Management. If you could please fill those out, that would be perfect. Thank you so much. Need a mic?
Can everybody hear me pretty well? I don't want to be, I think I might get overran right now. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here. As Lonze stated, my name is Rasheed Plummer. I actually work with the Prince George's County Office of Emergency Management. Since we got a pretty large group in here, by a show of hands, how many of you all have heard of my organization or know what we do? Okay, all right, well, I'm here for a good purpose. I'm here for a good purpose then. Prince George's County Office of Emergency Management has two primary functions, okay? Our first primary function is coordination of disaster relief operations within Prince George's County. All right?
Say that again.
Coordination of disaster relief operations within Prince George's County. That means any event, be it man-made, natural, any type of disaster that could potentially displace residents within Prince George's County, we work with those responding agencies to ensure that those displaced residents are not out in the cold, all right? That means whether or not it is a governmental agency, a nonprofit agency, it could be state government and or federal government, all right? And we also actually work in regards to getting the county reimbursed if the actual event meets an actual declared threshold, all right? So we're containing that information to send it up to the federal government in order to actually get funds back to the county. All right, that's our primary focus. Our secondary focus is what I'm doing right now. All right, we provide training and information to county residents to better equip you all with the knowledge and the tools to better prepare yourself in the event of a disaster. All right, no one is anticipating a disaster. I'm not telling you when it's happening tomorrow. But the one fact of the matter is we do not know when one could occur. All right. House fires and apartment fires are definitely more frequent during this time of year because people are actually cutting their heat on. You got space heaters and things of that nature. All right? So, first off, what I did today is I provided everybody here with some information on things that you all can do to better prepare yourselves and your loved ones. How many of you all remember doing fire drills at school? I'm pretty sure everybody in here has done one, all right? How many of you all have ever done a fire drill at home? Not as many hands went up, all right? The reason that we push for residents to actually do fire drills at home is that we take for granted the fact that when we come in our homes, we may come in the front door, we may come in the side door by the garage. But during a disaster, we may not have access to that doorway. All right, we definitely should have an alternate plan in place to ensure that everybody within our home can evacuate safely. If you've done a plan maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago when you had kids, we talked about this earlier this week. That plan needs to be updated, revised, to ensure that everybody within your home actually has knowledge of that plan and it's viable for them to actually be a participant. All right? Now, it's not enough just to have an evacuation plan. We all remember during fire drills, we had an actual place that we all went with our class, where our teachers were able to do a head count to ensure everybody got out. That's a rally point. You want to ensure that you not only have that evacuation plan, but you all have a rally point in place. It is known that this is where we will meet up when we get outside of our homes. Okay? Also, and I'm jumping all over the place here because I gave you all the information, but I want you to read through it. And I used to talk a lot about sheltering in place. But following the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm pretty sure everybody in this room knows how to stay in their house for an indefinite amount of time as long as they have the supplies that they need, right? Now, if you had to evacuate your home in 5 minutes, how many of you all have the items that you need to sustain not only yourself, but your family members as well, to get out that house in 5 minutes? Are you able to gather those items together, put them in a kit, and get out that house? Anybody think they can? I know I can. So I gave you some information in regards to cultivation of a emergency go kit. It goes by many different names. You can even say the bug out bag, emergency kit, survival bag. This is basically the supplies that you would need to sustain, and these are basic supplies that is actually on this list. I don't want you to think that once you just put the items on this list, you have enough. These are the base items that you would need to actually sustain yourself and your loved ones. All right, and I have it actually within this actually family preparedness book that's on everybody's desk, everybody's seat. These base items are the actual, just the most essential items that you're going to want to have. But everybody's kit is going to be tailored for their specific needs, as well as their family specific needs. If you have any individuals within your household that have to take any life-altering medication, be it blood pressure medication, anything of that nature, you want to ensure that they have at least a 3 to 5 day supply within that emergency kit. I'm not asking you to have your whole 30 day supply, all right? I'm only asking you to have at least a 3 to 5 day supply. Why am I asking for that? Depending upon the scope of the event, we may not be able to access pharmacies the next day. All right? So any life-altering medication that you need to take, we want to ensure that us have that in our kits. We take that onus upon us because no one else knows what we need. Okay? Also, we're building your emergency plan and your evacuation plan and your emergency kit. I'm pretty sure everybody in here remembers when 9/11 occurred, right? And when 9/11 occurred, I know that I couldn't use my cell phone to call anybody local. Does anybody know why that was the case? The cell towers received, they were inundated with traffic, basically. Okay, the cell towers were getting so much traffic from everybody trying to make a call, put a call in, and it was just so much was coming in, it was blocking everything out. How many of you know that if you had actually called outside of our region, your call would have gone directly through? So if you have a communication plan with your family, this is trying to give you some tips on things that you all can actually add to your kids. A communication plan is something that you actually have where you actually include someone into that plan that is outside of this immediate region. All right? And you ensure that everybody in that family knows that this is a part of that communication plan. So that if a disaster occurs that is on that scale, you make a call outside and let them know that you're safe and where you are. As well as everyone else in your family does. All right, so that way we can actually pass that information back. Because unfortunately here, you won't be able to call anybody next door. All right? Also want to talk about notifications. Because if we don't have notifications, prior knowledge allows us to actually put the plans and steps that we've already put in place, right? Everybody in here has heard of an Amber Alert, right? Everyone in here has heard of a Silver Alert. How many of y'all have ever heard of Alert Prince George's? All right, Alert Prince George's is an actual system that you can register to be notified about events real time occurring within Prince George's County. All right? Now, unlike the Amber Alert and the Silver Alert, which is actually the federal government actually pushes out those notifications, we don't have the actual authority to actually punch right into your cell phone. So we can't just give you these notifications. You have to actually register. Now the information is readily available to you to come to your cell phone as it's happening. So you can actually tailor the types of notifications you want to receive. You don't want to know about things that are happening across the entirety of the county all the time. You can tailor it to just receive notifications about specific jurisdictions, specific zip codes. All right? You can tailor it to only be notified about traffic events or potential weather events. All right? Over the years, we've all used WTOP, and we know at the top of the hour they're going to give you the traffic, at the bottom of the hour you'll get the weather. But if you miss it, you got to wait till it comes back around. With this, you don't have to worry about that. All right? Also, I'd like to talk about trainings that we provide. All of our trainings also are free to the Prince George's County residents, just so you know. All right? We do CPR certifications. How many of you all know that we provide CPR certifications? People raising their hand that came to my class. We also provide emergency preparedness training. It's a 2-day preparedness training in the form of Community Emergency Response Team, our CERT program. All right? Now, the CERT program is a 2-day training where we go over various different aspects of emergency preparedness, steps and actions that you can do with your family members to actually better keep you all safe. Just to touch on the first one. Everybody in here, and I hope everybody raised their hand. Everybody in here has a fire extinguisher at their home, right? All right, everybody in here has one. I'm glad everybody raised their hand. With that being said, how many of you all have ever been trained in the proper usage of a fire extinguisher? Not as many hands behind. All right?
It's been a long time.
We're going to get you back in training, man. The reason I say that is everybody, I'm pretty sure, has those fire extinguishers about this tall, about this big, right? If I were to tell you that when you pull that pin and start spraying that fire extinguisher, you generally only have about 3 to 5 minutes before it's empty. So if you do not know the proper way to use it, that fire is spreading, and you're putting yourself in more harm. One of the trainings that we go over in our CERT training is actually fire suppression training. So we actually go over the different types of fires, the different types of extinguishers to be utilized for different types of fires, as well as we actually set a fire and let you put it out. All right, again, we learn by doing, correct? All right, when you take your CPR training, they don't just sit you in class and talk to you about what it is. They don't say, okay, you're going to do these many compressions, this many breaths, okay, now you're certified. They want to see you actually do it. All right, so same thing happens within our training. We also go over, I'm just touching base on some of them, utility shutoffs. I'm pretty sure everybody in here, when they moved into their house, the realtor and so forth walked them through, showed them where everything was. This is your gas shut off, this is your water shut off, this is how your fuse box and so forth. But if we don't need it again, we seldom go back to it. Nor do we really know how to actually shut it off if we had to. All right? So we actually go over utility shut-off training. we teach you the proper way to deactivate the utilities to your home. All right, be it gas, electric, and or water. And again, we have you go through the process. And following that, we do provide you with some of the tools that can actually assist you in that. Now, even though I'm giving you a tool that can deactivate your gas, you are not authorized to cut it back on. All right? Only the gas company can cut the gas back on. All right? I just want you all to know, even though I'm going to give you the tool at the end of the training, do not cut your gas back on, please. That can be an issue, all right? We also go over other aspects, okay? We do something, anyone in here that was former military has probably heard the term cribbing. We teach cribbing techniques. We teach you how to use leverage and tools to lift items you wouldn't normally be able to lift. All right? Everybody in here can do it. I don't want anybody to think that they can't. I've had an 85-year-old lady lift the dumpster. Because on a nice day, everybody in my class lifts the dumpster. All right? It's a skill set in using the proper tools and so forth. So anyone in here can do it. I'm not asking you to get down under it and use your legs and your back. No, that's not what we're doing. Jumping all over here. Any questions for me first before I keep moving? Yes, ma'am.
So, how do we register for your emergency preparedness?
So our CERT training, we actually have stopped all trainings for the remainder of this year. But I believe that we will be starting them back in January. If anyone is interested in the CERT training, I left a trifold on the seat of everyone's seat here, and if you did not get it, let me know and I will give you the email as well. But it is OEMstaff at co.pg.md.us. OEM.
It's in there, you got it.
It's right on the front of the OEM trifold, and it's on the rear of the CERT trifold. But if you're interested in any of the trainings, simply send an email to OEM staff. I will get the emails as well. So, and letting us know that you're interested, and we will send out the notifications as they're coming about. We generally have our trainings listed on Eventbrite, so residents can just go in and sign up as soon as it's actually listed. Now, I will warn you, our CPR classes fill up in 2 days. All right? The minute that they're posted, you gotta jump on. All right, as well as with the CERT training. I mean, the goal is at the beginning of next year, we'll start being able to do them monthly. All right, to actually have those courses held monthly. Unfortunately, we haven't had that capacity over the last couple of months.
Are you doing the day and the evening?
The CERT trainings are actually held over the course of a weekend. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. It's 9 to 5. We go over a lot of information. So when you come in, I hold you hostage. You don't get to leave for lunch. But I'm a feature. But it's due to the amount of information that we're actually going over. It's a lot of, we don't have a lot of time to actually be out of place. All right? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir. I had a question about your CPR training. Does that include infants and children?
Yes, it does.
Hallelujah, because so often you get adults, but you don't have infants and children.
We go over the full gamut.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions for me? Also, I did provide everybody today with a public preparedness survey. What is a public preparedness survey? Our office has actually been conducting a public preparedness survey with county residents in order for us to better gauge the level of preparedness for county residents, but also to give you all insight into your own level of preparedness based upon the answers that you provide to the question. All right, it definitely gives you an introspective look into your own level of preparedness as you answer these questions. I mean, it made me have to change some things, and I work in emergency management. If you would take the time out and answer those 9 questions, it would be greatly appreciated. Not only does it give us information, but it allows us information to send up the channel in regards to different programs that we can provide to the community based on the data that we're actually getting. And we actually have intentions on meeting with council members to share a lot of this data, to actually further the mission of actually empowering county residents to be better prepared. All right. Any more questions for me before I step down? Thank you all for your time.
I just want to remind everyone that they have tables back here with, I think we have snacks and we also have great information, and also they have clubs back there for the cars, as we were talking earlier with the officers. So you can go back there and grab you a club for your car and information there. And also, I want to acknowledge Mr. Mark Hamilton from Chair Burrow's office. He's Director of Consistent Outreach.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Definitely look forward to talking with you guys. I'll be in the back afterwards, so thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm new to Chair Burrow's office. I'm coming from Congressman Steny Hoyer's office, so I look forward to working with the constituents of District 8. And I'll be in the back slightly after the meeting, just so if you have any questions or want to give my information. Okay? Thank you.
Also, I wanted to acknowledge DC, Mr. Powell. Yes, he's from the county exec, right? Yes. Yes, sir, county exec, so I want to acknowledge him. All right, the county exec is not here, so, okay. You want to say anything? Sure. You can do that. Yes, you can wait for that. Yep. Come on up. All right.
Good evening. For those who are expecting the county exec, unfortunately, her schedule in these past 4 months, everybody wants to get on the schedule. She does everything to make it to all of the meetings, the town hall meeting, the civic association meeting. If you saw me step out a minute ago, I was talking to her. She's not going to be able to make it. My name is Melvin Powell. I am the DCAO of Public Safety, in short, the Director of Public Safety. Retired from the First Georgia County Police Department a few years ago as a Deputy Chief. Now have the components that you all see, a lot of these components that you see here, to include emergency management, the Police Department, the Fire Department, Corrections, Homeland Security, and again, Emergency Management, and the Office of the Inspector General, all fall under my purview. The county exec, in the last 4 months, I'm sure, I heard it mentioned quite a bit. There has been program after program put together to make sure that you as citizens across the county get what you need and what you deserve. The 311 strike force, which I heard mentioned a few minutes ago, when we took over the cabin, along with Stacey, at that point, Stacey Turner, I mentioned Stacey Turner because I was here before working along with Madam Brayboy and her role as the Stacey Turner. So now as the county exec, a lot of those folks who were in key roles were kind of transitioned over to the county exec's office. There has been, again, a lot put into her administration. She's only been county exec for 4 months. One example is what I just mentioned a second ago when we talked about the 311 strike force. When the county executive Brayboy took over, there were close to 30,000 complaints that were sitting on hold that include abandoned lots, debris, overgrown trees, and she brought her entire cabinet in and she gave us all the charge. We were all tasked with specific goals. When we meet with her, when she comes back, we have a checklist that has to be completed. So she's not just speaking to you, giving you, saying what she thinks you want to hear. She's giving the information and we're following up on it. Those complaints, that 30,000 complaints in the first 40 days, I think there were close to 13,000 complaints. And those 13,000 complaints means that 13,000 residents here in Prince George's County who filed complaints had those complaints resolved. And we'll continue to do just that. Most of what typically when I'm in this role, I would talk specifically about public safety. And I'll answer any public safety complaints you have. This is the first time in a number of years, and I was with the Prince George's County Police Department for 25 years. I don't think we've ever had a crime report sheet where it was entirely green, which means that every crime area in Prince George's County is down. So, and that is being done with a 300 officer deficit here in Prince George's County. Actually, it's a little bit more than that because we don't have the what we refer to as the position number. There are 350 officers short from what we've been allotted. So with that being said, if you know anyone in your family, friends, neighborhoods who are interested in joining not just the police department, the fire department, corrections, Homeland Security, emergency management, the Office of Inspector General, every one of those components we're hiring. But when I talk about, and I typically, I prefer a lot more to talk about the good things that the county exec does when she's not here, so you know that it's genuine. I'm not saying this because, well, she is my boss's boss, but I'm not saying it for those reasons. When we realized that the government may be shutting down, immediately we were in, she's always front facing so that when issues arise, they can be addressed right away. Most of those issues come up in typically public safety. As you see me sit here, my phone is constantly going off, but that's because we want to make sure that all of us, when the county exec brought in the new fire chief, the new police chief, these folks were specifically selected because of their engagement with the community. The fire chief, who's been coined the people's chief, is at every meeting. She's everywhere. I mean, there are meetings all over Prince George's County. She tries to attend them all. The Chief Nader, who I just talked to a second ago, he asked me to come to a civic association meeting in Landover. Obviously, we know there are meetings constantly, and we try to get to them all. But at least one of us will be there to make sure that we address the issues as they come up. Now, if there are any questions for me, I can answer any questions. And again, I'm here on behalf of Madam County Executive Brayboy, and I wish that she could be here. She has some additional public safety questions for me that I had to step out to answer. But I'll pass the word that, again, just like it was when she was the state's attorney, the Temple Hill Civic Association meetings jam-packed. It's a vital community that is really engaged with everything that takes place. You all hold us accountable. The county executive holds us accountable. So if there are any questions, I'm here to answer.
Thanks, Frank.
My apology, because they put it on my calendar as Temple Hill, and I actually went to the wrong place and got here. But I tell you what, we're chalking up is we're in every community. Cameron, we're here.
But you know that happens because, and we're gonna say this, Camp Springs encompasses Fort Washington, Temple Hills, part of Clinton, and so a lot of people mix it up. And Suitland, because we're in Suitland, this is Suitland. We have 2 zip codes, 20748, 20746. So a lot of people confuse our boundaries. That's why she was telling me we have 8,300 homes in this area. And a lot of people get, not just you, I'm talking about people in the community, don't even realize they're in Camp Springs.
So I'm off the hook now.
Yes, you
I'll tell you this is what they did. They said, it's the Temple Hills Civic Association. It'll be members from Camp Springs, but it's actually in Suitland. So it's all of it. But I'll tell you this, and I always enjoy coming to community meetings where we had so many people, because it shows that you're engaged. But also, it's easy for me to just take the mic and talk and say all the good things that you all want to hear. But I want you to hold me accountable. If the police department, fire, corrections, all those agencies that I named, if there are any complaints, trust me. The last time I was here, the officers who were up here, the first 2 cracking jokes, they got stuck on some responses. I helped them with the response, but I also made sure that those issues that you had concerns with were addressed. And we'll keep doing that. I mean, We're talking 4 months, and so many things are taking place, and there's so many things that I would never say anything bad on any previous administration, because I like everybody that was there. But if it wasn't done right now, we just had to correct it. We'll partner with the folks who did it before, the folks who had my role before. I make calls to them to figure out what they did and what we can do differently. But the ultimate goal is to make sure that you get what you need. And I can tell you right now, if you call any one of our agencies, you get a response.
Good evening. Is there any way that we can address the trash that's on the streets? Particularly where I am. I'm right off of Linda Lane, heading towards Allentown, Wawa, down, right there at that light. And it seems like it's always so much trash.
This is how, we just talked about, you holding us accountable. As soon as you say trash, he started writing it down, because a part of the 311 strike force is gonna make sure that we take care of this. So Aid has that information, and if it's not taken care of, I'll give you my card, my personal information. I'll give it to you. So if it's not taken care of in the next couple of days, you reach out to me, and we'll make sure it is done. But he has your information.
So, yes, I'm Rodney Streeter from the Department of Public Works and Transportation. You're not gonna have to get to him, because I'm gonna address it.
Thank you.
And so I've written it down, and we'll make sure we take care of it.
Okay, what's your name again?
Rodney Streeter.
Streeter.
Streeter. So the best way to communicate with me is either directly through my email, but the most effective way is to utilize 311. And I know earlier some people said, they've had some negative experience in the past, but I tell you it works. It does work. It's where we pull our requests from. It's how we accumulate data so that it drives the budget numbers. It tells us what is being done, how much resources we need to put towards issues, and it holds everybody accountable. That is the best way to put requests in front of the agency. 311.
Hello. Hi, I have a question. We live in Westchester Estates, and in the last 30 days, there's been a lot of construction along Allentown Road, and recently it's moved into our neighborhood. And I just want to know what exactly is going on. There's a lot of digging on Allentown Road, right by the Royal Farms. That's Old Ranch in Allentown. Yes, yes.
That's WSSC Water?
Yes.
So there's a,
So WSSC, a water utility company, is putting in larger piping. So they're doing a lot of digging. It's a long process and program. They've been having community meetings on a regular basis, updating the community on it. And I don't know what the timeline is on when it will be done, but whenever it's completed, it includes restoring the streets. Brand new curb and gutter and all that will be put back.
So how can we attend those meetings concerning what they're doing with the infrastructure?
I can answer that. They came to our meetings and we had online, they kept us updated on what they were doing our previous meeting. And this is at the end of the situation, and they're moving on, but they're fixing some last minute things. I did reach out yesterday to our contacts and ask him about that construction over there, because I saw the equipment sitting over there on the side of the road by Royal Farms. So I'm waiting for that reply back, and I can let you know if I get your information. I'll let you know.
And they're in the neighborhood. That's why. It's not just on Allentown Road. It's in Westchester Estates.
I formerly worked in that department, WSSC Water, the community project outreach. And so if you go online to wsscwater.com, look at in your neighborhood and community outreach, you'll have a listing of all upcoming community meetings. And in fact, I worked with Ms. Taylor previously, and if you all need to have them come back, it's Joy Hamilton is your contact with WSSC Water. She'd be happy to provide an update for you.
I have a question for both, so both of you gentlemen use my favorite word, accountability, right? And so I want to kind of change the direction of the conversation. What is the plan to improve the education within the school system? So my son has a disability, so he attends Potomac High School in their CRI program. And I feel like the county is failing him. He attended Stephen Decatur Middle School, where they had all of these great improvements to their program. They have a therapeutic pool, they have a life skills room and a sensory room. We get to Potomac and we have nothing. I've tried to, the school always says, oh, we want to create partnerships with parents and we want parent involvement. I am that parent that is involved in everything. I have sent so many emails to the SPED coordinator that have gone unanswered. I've talked to the principal who does nothing. And so where's the accountability? Because you're failing the kids. The conditions of that school and that wing are horrible. I did site visits where I went up there for an A day and a B day, and I froze to death because the classroom was just that cold. There were gnats flying around in there. It's not acceptable. And I feel like you all aren't doing a good job of talking to the parents to see what we want for our kids. And so, and I tell the school this all the time, in 6 years my son will be gone off your roster, but after that he will still be my son. And so while he's there, I need to make sure that he gets everything that he is due. But I'm tired of fighting the county to do their job. So what do I do? Who do I go to? Because right now, everybody's talking. I get on every forum that you have for special education, and you all are collecting data, but you're doing nothing with that information. And so I'm telling you now, I've gone up the chain. SPED coordinator, clueless, principal, oh, I hear you, I'm gonna take care of it, and I get nothing. So now what do I do next?
Have you tried your county councilman?
Edward Barrows?
Uh-huh.
I've sent emails all over the place. I just recently sent an email to the instructional coordinator for special education. Where's the accountability? Because what I'm hoping is that we come back with is some initiatives or some changes or some things that we want to do with some actual deliverable dates. I don't want you to keep telling me, I hear you, because that becomes condescending when there's no action following it. So what do you all want to do to improve the programs for the kids with disabilities in the county?
Who's the school representative?
Well, well, first of all, ma'am, I'm sorry that that's been your experience, and you should not have had to deal with that. But what I can say is, since the county exec has been in office, she has selected a new school superintendent, and deputy superintendent, Ron Watson. So there are folks in place now who recognize that there were issues before. And we are working along with the school board to include school security to make sure that the experiences that you had before that were negative are changing. Now, what I can do is I'll report back to the county executive as well as the school superintendent to make sure that these issues are addressed. And we can address those areas specifically to you. I'm sure that Councilman Barrows would like to know these things as well, so we'll pass that information on. This shouldn't be something that is ongoing. If there were issues in the past, not a whole lot we can do about what's happened in the past, but we will work toward making sure that that is corrected in the future. And when I say that, I'll reach out to you directly. I'll make sure the school superintendent reaches out to you directly. We'll do that.
Okay.
And the experiences you had before, as I started to write those things down, as a parent myself, it's unfortunate that certain things happen. Again, I would never blame anyone else who was in any position prior to me. My goal is to make sure that those experiences don't continue.
Okay.
So before I leave, I'll get your name and I'll pass that information on to the county executive, and she'll make sure that the school board is aware of your concerns and they'll be addressed.
Thank you.
I have a question. So first, I'd like to say thank you for the county's response to the government shutdown. You guys quickly put a website up and provided resources for federal employees. It is much appreciated. I have one question. Trash collection in my neighborhood. So it seems that when the trash collectors come through, they just throw our cans in the middle of the street. They don't place them back on the curb. We work hard to keep our community clean, but it seems like when they come through, they don't care.
Thank you so much. I'm Rodney Taylor. I'm the Associate Director with Department of the Environment, our Community Engagement Beautification Division, and also our Director is here. Mr. Mulkey is here, so I'm telling you away. But I will let you know about trash collection. What we need to do, I'll get your information, because we do have contractors go out and pick up, and that's a very serious issue we have. In the contract, they cannot do that. We do get complaints from them. Once they finish putting the trash in, they just kind of sling the dumpsters. I just got that last week. I reached out to the supervisor who then reached out to the contractor, and they deal with the issue. And I got an email right back that they resolved the issue. So please, I want to get your information before we leave so we can take it up for you.
Okay, and one more thing.
And Mr. Mulkey.
And if I may just add, about 3 weeks ago, we actually had a meeting with the trash haulers at the office to tell them about these kinds of complaints, and that moving forward, we're going to hold them accountable. So Mr. Taylor is going to take your number. We're going to find out what that street address is. We're going to locate that trash hauler, and we're going to have a talk with them.
Okay, and it's not just them throwing it, but they also, the cans break. And so some of us need replacement cans because they're just tossing them in the middle.
Yeah, and we're going to take that for you as well. Okay.
My question was more along the lines of, there seem to be interesting people that are hanging out or along the road, once you're going from the Aldi to Route 5. And if you're driving your car and you come to an intersection or you're driving, there are people that just kind of walk across the street. Or on the other part of it, they seem to be around Johnny's Sub Shop and Purge Carpet. And there are people that are just crossing the road for, well, I mean, who knows what they are, but they just kind of dart out. And so, who are these people that are doing this? I mean, obviously there are people that know, that have an idea of these types of people that are here, and what's being done about that?
Well, I've got a quick question. Is it the same as his? Is I like it? No. It won't get oh, is that homeless? Oh, you're trying to be nice.
Oh, you said homeless people.
Unhoused.
Unhoused people. Unhoused people. Oh, that's what I said. Because that's why I was kind of confused.
Well, I think what he's asking, the unhoused population, is that what your concern? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what they are.
I don't know who they are and what they are, but one of the things that happens, I'm worried, because in some cases, these people, whoever they are, you're at an intersection, you start to go, and they dart across the street. They go from one place to another. They go from Purge Carpet, maybe over to Johnny's Sub Shop or whatever. And the thing is, I'm afraid I might hit them, which is one thing. And the thing is just, I don't know. I don't know who they are, and I'm worried.
Well, I guess in my attempt to address the concern, I have the cops officer here along with the commander. When you say you don't know who they are or what they are, I mean, obviously that could be offensive, but I think we're gonna make sure that we, council officers go out to attempt to address the concerns that you have. Because I'm a little bit confused. You said there are people who are crossing the street, but you didn't say that they're homeless population, so I don't.
I'm gonna elaborate on what he's speaking on. We have a lot of panhandlers. Some of them might be unhoused, but they're panhandlers. They've been here for 6-7 years. So if you look at it, it's a documentary about people who are unhoused. Unhoused people don't just hanging out on the street trying to, make money. They're trying to get housed. These people are panhandling. They're drug users. They're alcoholics, and they're trying to get money to get their fix. And they catch buses over here. And what it has done is our area looks horrible. Because what they do, we got people right in front of what used to be the 7-Eleven, and they hang out there like it's a, like they're at their house on the porch. People have, it's terrible. They just take up we're talking about like the bus stops. Now I want to catch the bus, but they all seated at the bus stop. And then we even have some guys who had a wheelchair. He just sits out there. They're like, when he's talking about the Johnny, they back there. It's a mess. It's a mess. They're back, all of them. They used to be on the, what y'all did was, they were on Allentown Road by Temple Hills. Now, because y'all chased them away, now they're on this end of Allentown Road.
Right in front of the.
Where it used to be the 7-Eleven. They're by the Royal Farm. They're by where the 7-Eleven, where the Luxby building is. Okay, they got it. They got it. Yes. I got more, but y'all go ahead.
Okay, I have a question back to the trash collection. The gentleman was discussing that. I know we have the 1 can for the recycle, and we have 1 can for trash. I want to know why I'm not separating my recycle and my trash. And when I look out there, they just throw them both in the same trash truck. Why am I doing that? I mean, I've tried videoed it on my phone, I've tried to submit it and everything, and they just put them both in there. So why am I constantly trying to do it? It used to be way back when we had 2 different days, there were 2 different trucks. Now it's 1 day, 1 truck, and they took them both and they put them in the same thing. I just want to know what.
Well, they shouldn't be doing that.
Well, they're doing it they're doing it on Cool Ridge Road.
Okay, make sure we get your information, we give the contract, because that's 2 different trucks. One for recycling, one for trash.
Right.
And then you also have bulk trash too. So if you have 4 bulk, you put out 4 bulk items every time your trash gets picked up, that trash truck will take that as well. So please utilize that. And make sure we get your information so we can follow the contract. Yes, and please report that. We're going to keep saying that. Please report those calls to 311 as well. So we need that data so we can track it. And I promise you, 311 is definitely working now. County executives making sure that. So please use 311. I promise you, it will work.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a question that's based on an observation, which may or may not be correct. But I've been a resident of the Oxon Hill area since my husband landed here at Andrews Air Force Base. Since that time, I have come to observe that it seems that the South County area doesn't seem to get as much attention as the Upper Marlboro, Mitchellville, Laurel, all of those areas. And I say, again, seemingly, because you can go there and you don't find the panhandle. You don't find the trash all over the place. You don't find people in the selling lotions and potions out of the back of their cars and all of this. So I'm just trying to understand why is that?
Yeah. I've seen them up there, so I know they do.
Well, ma'am, that absolutely should not be happening. The same services that are afforded to the folks that go through Prince George's County should be afforded to the folks in down south. Now, again, we can only, when I took this position, one of the things that was brought to all of our attention, the entire cabinet, the Prince George's County residents will get the exact same services, so we're not gonna differentiate and say that these people deserve, you're shaking your head, but we have to keep in mind, the county executive has only been in office for 4 months, and we're working to make changes and correct a lot of things, to include, when we talk about the homeless population, or the unhoused population, that's a really sensitive subject, so the police department, the law enforcement, we're working hand in hand with the Department of Health and Human Services to make sure that we find places for people to go. Because some of those folks are veterans, some of those folks are our loved ones, they have to have an opportunity to make those corrections and those adjustments. But all these things aren't gonna happen overnight. I can give a perfect example of what the new county exec's done. During her first week, she did a tour around to all of the county agencies. And she went into one particular agency, and there was no one there. They made calls to talk to people, the lights were out, no answer. At that point, she said there will be absolutely no telework. Everybody will be back in these offices, will be answering these phone calls, will be addressing these issues that our citizens have, and she's working to do that. Now, again, we're talking a little over 4 months now, but her words, I'm transparent, hold me accountable. I'm not just throwing these elaborate responses that are not gonna happen. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure that we give you the services that you deserve. And I'm in and around Prince George's County, all of Prince George's County every day. And I take notes and forward those things back. My primary concern, I try to stay in my lane, other than when I'm speaking on her behalf, is to make sure that law enforcement, all the way across the board, all the public safety, that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And I have counterparts who do the exact same thing. We all have our meetings, Monday morning meetings, and we hold each other accountable. We're not gonna arrest our way out of any problem. That's why I sit right beside the person that's in charge of Health and Human Services and say, what are we gonna do together to address these issues?
Okay, and I'm not holding her responsible for what has gone on in the past. What I'm doing is trying to shine a spotlight on South County.
And we appreciate that.
Because, I mean, I've been asking for a community walkthrough since June, and I have yet.
What do you wanna walk?
I wanna walk up and down Livingston Road.
When do you wanna walk?
I wanna walk in Rivertown. I wanna walk where we have our Latino brothers and sisters selling watermelons and cantaloupes and papayas and every doggone thing else out there.
When do you wanna walk?
When? I'll walk tomorrow if you wanna walk. I'll call y'all.
Now, how many people gonna walk with us tomorrow?
I'll find some people to walk.
And what time you wanna walk?
8 o'clock. Because honestly, I almost got killed trying to come out of the area where, in Rivertown, where they have the little shopping centers where you can eat all the foods, Home Depot and all of that, Panda Express. There were so many vendors that when I tried to ease out, I couldn't see past the trucks. But they were selling everything and handing out all kinds of cars. And a car comes zooming down while I'm trying to ease out. I sent a long letter that day saying I need help, and I don't care who it is. Somebody help me. Well, June, it is now November. Come on. Calm down. Something's got to be done. I mean, really.
Yes, ma'am. So what we gonna do?
South County.
Yes. Yes.
So, we got 2 gentlemen over there. We got my Inspector Fox over there, and I don't know the other gentleman's name, I forgot. Can y'all help with them getting a walk, a community walk, where they go around? Okay, so Miss Sharon, go talk to the inspectors over there, okay? And then you can talk to Mr. Mark Hamilton, okay?
I have a question. And I'm Lieutenant Fontaine. I work at District 4. I'm the Community Engagement Commander. The question, you said Rivertown. Do you live in those condos at Rivertown? Okay, so what we've been working on an initiative. We have one for that strip mall where you're talking about, where the Panda Express is, in the condo, the association. They have signed the paperwork giving us permission to act as their representatives. And for the last week and a half or two, we have been at Home Depot addressing the issue with the individuals out there, and we have made multiple arrests, total of 4 arrests in that location for the people that are sitting out there selling those items. We've also worked with DPI, doing some task force trying to get some of these items moved out of the way, and we've been helping with the beautification. On the second hand, we sent an email to the health department to try to see if we can have a partnership with the health inspectors to come out to kind of cite these individuals. Some things are out of our purview. You know, only certain departments can write those citations, but we have been out there actively engaging. My community engagement units have been going out there, and I can tell you, we have at least 4 arrests in that area.
And you have,
Okay, before, Mr. Harrison, can you ask that question?
Yes, it's a combination of 2 questions that I want to ask. We are in desperate need of economic development in the area. However, due to lack of the aesthetics, we understand. However, this is a great area, but we need improvement. We don't need any more gas stations, no more car washes, no more liquor stores, no more cash stations. We are undertaking smart development in the county, in the north central part of the Prince George's County. On top of that, also, we have a lot of empty buildings around here that needs to be looked at. They're not operating, but they're here with name tags and all, and they're just there. So what can we do about that?
But what he said is, you know how like North County, Central County, you know how they've been beautified? It's time to come to the South County.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all those things ain't the worst. I tell you, all of those buildings, we're looking for new buildings. The folks in the Office of Central Services, they're looking for new buildings that we can utilize. And some of the buildings that we're currently using need repairs, kind of dilapidated. But I can tell you also, the county council members, obviously, they come to your meetings, and in their discussions, they're talking about the same things you just mentioned. We don't need any more gas stations. We don't need any more storage places. We don't need certain things have to be put in certain places. We don't need any more the smoking vape shop. So all those things are being addressed. I know Councilwoman Oriata, Chairman Burrows, those issues have already come up, and the county is working together. I think the biggest thing is that the county executive and the county council are all on the same page with everything you just discussed. So again, some of those things are going to take time, but they haven't been overlooked. And those issues will be addressed.
Thank you. Let me ask a quick one about, this is very specific, but we all concerned about it. The address is 6206 Old Branch Avenue. Okay, though it was 2 homes there. It was two homes there, and they tore them down. Finally, we got them torn down. Thank you, DPI. We appreciate that. They tore them down. So then there was supposed to be a car wash there, Tommy's Car Wash. Something went wrong. And so it's just a big old empty lot. And we want to know what's going on. Thank you.
So good evening. My name is Anthony Jeffrey, and I'm here with Prince George's EDC, and I am the Business Development Manager for Retail and Restaurant. Outside of that, I'm also a citizen of Prince George's County, and prior to this, I was a retail broker for 10 years. So just to answer a couple of quick questions. One, the county executives' efforts and the EDC are working together, and we are talking to business developers, we're talking to business owners, we're talking to businesses. Unfortunately, we can't say what comes and what does not come because these property owners do own their property. So it's like at your home, we aren't allowed to tell you what you can do at your home. However, we are making steps to try to create incentives to try to bring more and diversify the offerings that we do have. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to build density because with the lack of density, a lot of retailers are not going to come. So unfortunately, we are seeing a lot of the gas stations, and we are seeing a lot of, unfortunately, the townhomes that some people aren't necessarily happy about, but these are building the density that we need so that when we go and talk to retailers, and they're looking for 20,000, 30,000 people within a 2-mile radius, that we can actually give them that information. So again, these meetings that we're having right now, they're very important. I also task everyone here to come together and create an advisory board for yourselves about retail and what you want here and what you don't want here, so that we have a centralized list of things that are working and things that are not working. Now, of course, this isn't a magic wand, and we aren't going to be able to say that you won't get another gas station, because you may. But with that gas station may come another grocery store. With the grocery store may come better restaurants. It's a strategic, long game, and it's not something that's going to happen today, but we have to start communication. And if we don't know what's going quote-unquote wrong, we can't fix that. So if we could task everyone to come together, tell us what works and tell us what doesn't work, invite the EDC to these meetings so that we know what's going on, and also tell your council members for your districts what you need and what you don't need. Because with that information, we can talk to the retailers, we can talk to the developers, but we have to work together and we have to all be on the same team, because it's not the business climate against us, it's not the county council against the residents. We're all here, we're all working for the same common good. So if we come together, leave our egos at the door and just come in and try to find solutions and be solution based, I'm here, my information will be in the back. Please email me, let me know what's going on, and we're happy to get whoever we need to here. We have business development managers from every respect. So when you look at life sciences, you look at IT and everything. So we have all those.
Tell me what EDC stands for.
Yes, and EDC is the Economic Development Corporation.
You have a question?
I have a question.
So what you asked about the Thomas Car Wash, right? Thomas Car Wash. So that permit was issued in September of this year. I'm not certain, September 22nd of this year, I'm not certain why they haven't started construction.
There's been no follow-up. We've been dealing with
No,
it.
what happened was, they leveled, they did all the leveling of that.
Right.
They had the big,
They leveled it, they had the big sign out there saying, Tommy's Car Wash coming soon.
Correct.
This isn't this year, this was last year.
No, what I'm saying is the permit was issued this year. They just got it in September of this year. So they're able to start construction now. Now, generally, the permitting process is a, relatively, not a long process, but it's a long process. Could be financing, could be contractor, could be various things. I will reach out to Tommy's Car Wash or the applicant who filed for the permit to see why and when he is going to start construction.
He just cleaned it off again.
Huh?
He just cleaned it off again. He just cleaned it off again to start building.
Okay, so he's had started construction on that, but the permit, from a permitting standpoint, he's able to start construction on that, for that car wash. Okay? All right, thank you.
She has a question.
I have a question, please. I have a question.
Right here.
Right here. 2018, my community, and I live in an older community, Legacy has been called, and we were inundated with pit bulls. And therefore, this may be going to Chairman Burrow's office, because I saw on the news on WTOP the other night, listening to it, that I'm a healthcare worker. Therefore, I come home all different times. And I've driven my car home to look to the side, and the pit bull was standing up on my window. And I had my dog, 2018, Sharpay, devoured on my porch, and my yard is gated in. Just last Friday, my neighbor diagonally across the street from me, her yard is fenced in as well. And she was trying to open her gate to get out, and there was a pit bull at her door. And she could not leave her house. I have been captured before in my house, and they are talking now about lifting the ban on the pit bulls. Well, I'm living proof that you cannot live in the same neighborhood a lot with pit bulls. I rescued other people's children, jumped them over the top of my fence,
I've had talked to someone there at one time named Mr. Taylor. I'm Patricia Lewis Quarles. Channel 9 News was at my house. Channel 5 News was at my house. Nothing happened until they ate the lady's cat behind me on camera. I've driven my car to pick up little old ladies walking their dog down the street to observe 2 days later that those pit bulls ate her dog, which was called Snowball. I've had to endure this. And now that we don't have the pit bulls in our neighborhood, which we didn't know at the time that they were there, and now we find that these dogs are coming back into our community. There's no way. I don't want to say, but I'm way over 77 years old. And when I walk out my house at night, or when I come home from work, I don't want to meet a pit bull in my yard, which 3 days ago, 2 pit bulls were trying to get in my yard. As I came home at 11:30 at night. So my neighbor lives by herself as well, and we are around the same age. And now as we are gotten older, a lot of people moving out of the house, out of our neighborhood, and young people are moving in. I called the other day to talk to someone from the animal rescue, and they said, well, we don't have the people to come out and see. So what does it take for us to get some more people added to that list of people to come out to survey our neighborhoods? And I live in Camp Spring area, not far from Andrews Air Force Base. And there are a lot of pit bulls now you find in the neighborhood.
Isn't there law? And it is a law. It's a law. But it's not a law. It has to
Mike, I think the question is only one and the same. We'll address them together. But
I just wanted to know if there is a law against having pit bulls.
There is a law in Prince George's County, is a law, and I'm aware of that law. I've testified to the council members, 2018, relating that they say that watch out for the pit bulls. I have no problem with people having dogs, I really don't. And it's not always about how you raise those dogs. My first cousin in South Carolina, and I got pictures to show, he was 11 years old at the school bus stop. 3 pit bulls mauled him to death just last February. So just let you know, those dogs are very dangerous dogs. And you got little old ladies now walking the street, and it's all horrible if you're thinking about lifting that pit bull ban, even though I know you can't enforce it the way it should be. But we didn't have a lot until here recently. They're coming back.
well, as of right now, pit bulls are illegal in Prince George's County. And
that sounds like a dog ranch. I'm a owner of a pit bull, but that sounds like something happened. That's isolated. All pit bulls are not deadly. My dog passed away after 17 years, never bit anybody. And so we can't cast aspersions on every dog. Sir, that's not what it is.
And that's a problem for me. Respectfully about your situation. I had a pit bull. All right, it was a mix. Passed away, no issues, never attacked anybody. Okay? That sounds like a ring. That sounds like some people that are coming in, they got dogs fighting or something. That's something else in that situation. That's just my opinion. I think you gotta look into that. There's something a little bit off about that.
well, I think, as you were explaining the circumstance of your situation, I'm glad Lieutenant Fontaine got your information, because your situation does sound a little bit more extreme than what we've heard, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed fast. So the officers will there should be an officer coming to see you tomorrow, Lieutenant Fontaine, to figure out exactly what's going on. The last thing we want to do is you bring this information to us, and then we have someone else attacked by a pit bull. Obviously, we have our own ideas about having pit bulls, but a pit bull that attacks, but it could be a Labrador Retriever that attacks. Should not be running free. If you can't control your dog, you shouldn't have the dog. Obviously, if the dog is biting you, that's a problem. And we'll have someone come out to talk to you to give more information. Because again, pit bulls are illegal in Prince George's County for now. And I can't say what's going to happen in the future, but for right now, and we're going to address that issue.
Yeah, so I have a question about trees and bushes that need to be cut or trimmed. Apparently the limbs are blocking the intersection, dangerous, and they need to be cut more often. The Civic Association would like to know what is the schedule for cutting bushes and trees.
So as you might imagine, there are thousands of acres of trees in our county. So we aren't able to have a rotating schedule that way. But so what we do is we prioritize the type of event. If it is blocking the sight line, then if it's in 311, we will respond more quickly than say, something that doesn't directly affect your public safety. That sounds like a public safety issue. Sight lines, if there's dead trees, then we will come out and respond to those right away. We don't do aesthetic trimming. We do maintenance of trees in our right-of-way to make sure there's safe travel throughout our right-of-way. And so there's not a rotating schedule, but if you give me the address, that one, I'm sure we can expedite it. We can get that done for you.
I would like to know if anyone did a survey on where we spend our funds, because in this area, our funds go elsewhere. We spend our money in Virginia, we spend our money in other parts of Maryland. We were saying if people are trying to get establishments here, and they're basing it on the numbers that we spend, the numbers that we're spending is elsewhere, so it's not really just fair. We spend our money. The stores that we are shopping at is not up to par as other jurisdictions and locations. Some of the food stores that we go to, the food is expired. We have to shop through the food store in order to get to the establishment where the food are not expired as soon. Also, the last thing was that we've seen where governments purchase the food, and the food stay there for a while until they reshop and put it back on the ship. It's a refrigerated thing.
So really quickly, on the first part of your question, the number is $1.4 billion that leaves this county every year in our surrounding municipalities. And we use that number a lot when we're discussing the buying power that's in Prince George's County. And unfortunately, we have to train retailers to look at Prince George's County like they look at Northern Virginia, and like they look at Montgomery County. And I'm sure we can all understand why we have to have those conversations. But when we talk about that over $1 billion that leaves here in spending, and we talk about the homeowners, and that more than 90% of businesses in Prince George's County are small businesses, but these aren't small businesses that are just, doing sandwiches and stuff. We have government contractors, and we have businesses that are doing all sorts of things. So yes, we do know that number, and we're trying to alleviate that, and we're using that as a leveraging point when we're talking to retailers about getting better retail here. Now, with that, we have to build places where we can put that retail, because those retailers, they want to be in certain types of retail. So when you see the Westphalia projects that are coming up, and you see, like, that's over here as well, we need more of those dense projects so that we can bring those retailers here, and not just the same ones that we're seeing over and over again. So it comes with a little bit of development, and with that development, it's going to be hard sometimes, and it's not going to be I would not tell you to boycott, but what I would tell you is that when we go out and we go to Las Vegas once a year, and we go to a convention where we sit literally face to face with retailers, CEOs, and we tell them, hey, this store right here in Camp Springs, they see $6 million a year in revenue that they're generating. Now, when you relate that to a store that's in Springfield, Virginia, maybe they're at $5 million. We just need to be able to show that our county supports our stores. And unfortunately, sometimes our stores don't give us the best, but we have to be able to leverage and say that we have those numbers that we want to get better. And it's just, it's not an easy answer, and it's not an answer that's going to just 1 + 1 is 2, but we have to do a little bit of the groundwork to get the better retail that we want.
Last question.
Hello.
Yes.
I have two questions. The first question is about the trees. I live on Lansing Drive, and the house next to my house has a tree. Greg. Okay. And the house was vacant for several years. And the tree in the yard is dead. And twice a branch that's the size of a tree fell and hit my house. I called 311, and this is from 2020 to 2023. I called 311 about that tree that damaged my home, and I was still responsible for cutting that big branch that caused my whole front yard, damaged my house, barely missed my vehicles. And that tree still stands, and it is a dead tree. It is, I get it, it may have a few leaves on it, but it is strangled out by the vines. Something needs to be done, and I have new neighbors now. They moved in last year. I made them aware. I have written them a formal letter. I sent the county a letter, and I sent my insurance company a letter. Because if my home gets damaged again, somebody has to be accountable. Because the tree's not on my property. And I cannot be held accountable for that. That's the first question. The second question is related to people speeding. And on the last call, Delonte said he was going to give me the information to the process we need to take for the speed bumps for the individuals coming down Lansing Drive. So I'm on the corner of, my house is right there, Mansfield and Lansing, and those cars come through there speeding like crazy. And my 8-year-old granddaughter comes home off that bus, and the other kids coming walking down Lansing, and those cars literally almost hit them every day. So I need to know that process, or what can you all do about that?
So I will answer the vacant property question, and I'll turn it over to regarding the speed legislative where we're speaking of. So I do know there's a county law with regards to we are actually having to report all vacant properties in the county every year.
But it's not vacant.
It's not vacant anymore. I want to keep that. I just want to tell you,
But what I want to say is, you all talk about how great 311 is.
No. I want to just tell you the process regarding vacant property, and you started that, because there is a registry that the county is recording regarding vacant properties, okay, now. And then
But I already knew about this. For 3 years, I called 311.
can I finish? Yeah, I just wanted to say, I just want to educate the residents regarding the vacant registry that's countywide mandate by the county council to report all vacant properties in the county. That's once a year. That's done by the agency in which I'm in. All right. I will come down and sit with you in a few minutes, get your address regarding the tree. I understand in your conversation from minutes ago, as you said, someone had moved into the property, right? Right. So then we need to take the proper steps to hold the folks accountable for cutting their tree that's on their property. Okay. So I will be, once this meeting is over, I will come sit with you to get the information and we follow it directly. All right. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. So now, on the speed bumps, the process for requesting speed bumps, or really what you're requesting is a traffic analysis for calming devices. And so you have to make that request either through a civic association like this one, an HOA, or through your council member's office. And then our team will evaluate whether or not the conditions are met to allow us to move forward to put a speed bump on that street or some other calming device, whatever it might be
Well, I
for.
will say this, they did do some devices in August going down Lansing, and the gentleman told me it was for, monitoring the traffic that comes down on Lansing. Now, who started the process, I don't know. If it's an actual process, I don't know, but I know that's what the gentleman told me, so I definitely would like to know if we are gonna get speed bumps or what is going on in this process. Another issue I have is when they do have these type of things that go on in our community, all of the neighbors are not made aware that it's going on or what is going on.
You mean the speed humps are coming?
Yeah, speed bumps, almost anything.
Well-
I mean, because it was a last minute thing with the whole sewage. Like, I wasn't notified until the week before they were digging. And my children are grown, so all of us are now parking, well, hopefully today is the last day, but we're all parking on my grass, on my lawn. It's
So ma'am, I'll get your information. I think though that maybe there's a need for you to plug into your associations a little closer, because even on the WSSC,
make us aware of
so the WSSC issue in particular, I attended 2 meetings of this association myself. So I know that it was well attended. I mean, so there is some word getting out. And with respect to speed humps, you have to have a majority of the citizens on the street to even move forward with speed humps. So there has to be some notification. Thank you.
I just want to comment on the speed humps. On my street, on my street, I had to go around to each house and tell everyone that they want to agree to the speed humps around the house. And it was a lot. So you have to have everyone in the street to agree. You know, some houses they didn't agree, but you know, I went to the next one until we got the votes to get the speed hump. And right now we're in the process of waiting because there's other things that's going on in the room.
And I'll just say one last thing about these speed humps. So we have to consider all those things when we talk about putting speed humps in specific neighborhoods. But
The speed limit is 25 miles per hour, and people continuously drive down the street. Not just in that last drug shop as well, driving 70 miles per hour like they're on that crack.
then I was going to shoot that.
That's very unacceptable.
Absolutely, and that's one of the, well, glad we have police officers who can help us address this. So we'll get looks like he's talking to you now, he's gonna get that street, we'll figure out the best solution, we'll work with him to get the best solution implemented.
All right, I want to thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I want to thank the community for coming out. I really appreciate y'all coming out here for this in-house meeting. Next time, we want you to grab your neighbors or grab someone else to bring along. Our next meeting is going to be on January the 8th. It's going to be cold, so we want to have it online.